Hey friends. You know, a few days back, there were a lot of controversies on nepotism. Everywhere it was being said that how bad it is. But contrary to this, you know, according to a research, 80% of the jobs which people get due to their network, whereas only 20% jobs are given on the basis of merit. Listen, one more interesting thing. You know, when trying to convert a lead from paid advertising, that conversion is of 1/25. Whereas when the lead is converted from personal reference or word of mouth, that conversion is of 2/3. And this is the power of network. There is a book named Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. The world's most influential, powerful and wealthy people, they are able to reach there because of their strong network. On the other hand, if you make powerful connections with powerful and wealthy people, then you will get an edge over others. What you have to do for networking. There is a spin formula which I'll explain one by one. Talking about the spin formula. How you should do networking. For that, this book by Keith Ferrazzi is very useful. Who is this Keith Ferrazzi? Which I am talking about repeatedly? He is a world-renowned expert in fields such as talking about Keith's story, science of relationships, collaboration and networking. He has written multiple best-selling books. World's best magazines like Forbes, Harvard, has published multiple articles on him. And it's not that he is teaching others only. He has the contacts of 5,000 most influential people. Influential people like presidents, top managers, media personalities, etc. Now you think that he got all these things because he belongs to a wealthy family. Well, if you think so, then this is absolutely wrong. Keith has struggled a lot in his life. He and his family had shifted to provincial state of America from Italy. The financial condition of the family was not so good. His father used to work as a laborer in a factory. Like every father, his dream was that his son Keith shouldn't become like him. He should do something big in life. Interact and meet high-class people. But because he was poor and in low-income group, his friends were poor people like plumber, miner, etc. In short, his networking was not so strong. But there was one thing. Keith's father always wanted him to study in a good school. Obviously he was not able to afford it. But still the thing he could afford was stubbornness. Due to which he went to meet the board of directors of a big school. And said, "Sir, I am a very intelligent boy. I have a dream that my son should study in a great school. My life has passed like this. But I want my son to do something big." Now those board of directors noticed many times that Keith's father always used to do work more than necessary. That's why the directors accepted this thing. Yes, we will bear the expenditure cost of Keith. After which he started studying in a good school. But he was mocked because of his torn clothes and old shoes. But he says that it made him internally strong in long run. The collapse. In 1960, the steel industry collapsed. The collapse. Due to which Keith's dad was unemployed for 6 months. However, his mom was doing the job of cleaning. But Keith wanted to support his family. At the age of 11, he had started working in a golf club. Keith used to carry the golf bags for wealthy people. And seeing them, he always used to think that why some people become successful. And most of the people don't. He never got the immediate answer. But Keith noticed that rich people always support each other. They select the best school for their kids. They do internships at good place. And they get them placed in premium companies. And most importantly, he noticed, rich people support the idea of others. Where poor people make fun of each other. Rich people don't do this. Keith had realized that the result of having less money in poverty is not only poverty, but also lack of social capital. Socially, how rich you are. How big people do you have to sit with? Because the more we live alone, the more we become like Mr. India. We would exist but won't be seen. And obviously if you are not seen, then how would people perceive you? Keith thought, how can he serve millionaire people? He did some interesting things for this. First of all, Keith started to learn about golf as much as possible. After that he used to come to the court, half an hour earlier, so that he can check all the things. Like what is the direction of the wind? Which golf stick would be the best to use? Similarly, he started learning a lot of things. And gradually, he started telling these things to the millionaire people. Obviously, Keith's words were knowledgeable and were useful. So they started liking him. If I count, Keith followed 3 steps. First, find out everything. Followed 3 steps. He found out everything about golf. Study the question. What trouble do millionaires face? What question do they face? He found out that. And third, come prepared. Sometimes, the millionaires didn't have the answers. So he used to do preparation about that. And here comes the S of the spin. Spin, S explanation, strengthen your relationship before you need to get something out of it. Strengthen your relationship before you need to get something out of it. You know, the wife of Mr. Poland, owner of the biggest yard of the city, used to come to that golf ground. And she used to take suggestions from Keith. And because the answer of Keith were very useful, that's why she was very impressed. And why not? You know, to support his family, Keith used to come 1 hour earlier. To figure out everything. All the 35 to 40 holes. He used to study every hole. And he used to have all the answers in the end of the research. That where the most toughest pin is. Where is the easiest place to play the toughest pins? And he was doing all this to become the best. He had noticed one thing. That if he read well about all the holes of that golf course, then it would be very helpful. He started giving all the valuable information to Mr. Poland. And due to this, she started winning the game from every position. And it was very impressive. And he started telling all her friends about this. Many a times, she used to invite him to her home. To meet her son. Who could give him opportunity. But still Keith used to deny. And Mrs. Poland found it very impressive. That he helps a lot. And don't want anything in return. And on that basis, P of spin comes. Which is people always need solid and trusting connections with other people. Spin P explained, people always need solid and trusting connections with other people. And in no time, he became an important member of Poland family. He started sharing his most weekends with Mrs. Poland. Mrs. Poland introduced him to all her friends. Basically, Keith helped Mrs. Poland on the golf course. And in return, she started helping Keith in real life. Whenever Keith was down in his life, Mrs. Poland used to support him. And used to give a ray of hope. Now you would say, how did such a strong connection got established? The answer is very simple. Because Keith helped Mrs. Poland genuinely. Without asking for anything in return. And this mentality of taking so much efforts and serving value. Mrs. Poland liked that very much. And in fact any rich people like it very much. For example. In fact you want to work with a highly influential personality. You email them. That sir, I have a lot of problems in my life. Please help me. Please give me a good opportunity. So what you think, what is the probability of getting response on this email? 10%. Well, even below than that. If you drop a value-oriented email, in which it is written, "Hi sir, I've been following you for so long. I have noticed these things. I noticed that you are not so active on LinkedIn. And you can make good following over there. I have noticed these things, these are the flaws. And by taking these actions, you can increase your following." Basically, notice such a thing. Which is the problem of that person. And give him the well-researched and genuine solution. Imagine, if you draft that mail. That how much is the probability of getting a response? Well, the probability would be much higher. Because remember, maximum people think that what he can get from the person in front. There are very less people who think that what I can give to the person in front. And trust me, the second type people are very rare. Everyone likes them and want to work with them. Doesn't matter, he is rich or poor. And this is true. When you solve the problem of the rich, you get paid well. I have given this example randomly. Similarly, you apply this value-giving mentality anywhere. And you will get the results. And here I of spin comes. Spin, I explained, it's not what you know but whom you know. Which is it's not what you know, but whom you know. Have you ever thought, why do successful people make mastermind groups? Just for hangout, time pass, and playing golf? No. They give advice each other in every domain of life. Support each other. Have you ever seen wolves? They always move in a group. Because they know that a wolf can't see everywhere. That's why they make group. Where one focuses in front, other one focuses in right. Other one focuses in right. Or everyone is moving seeing all around. Due to which if any one of them sees the victim, then all of them attack him. It helps them in survival. In finding victim and escaping from the hunter. But imagine, if he works alone. Then would he be able to win? Most probably not. That's why I want you to focus on making alliances. And obviously, the more strong people you make an alliance with, the better it is. Let me give you an exercise. Make a list of high influential people. Exercises for viewers. You can make the list of people in various domains. Like in politics, finance, media, manager of a big company, Bollywood celebrity, or a government official. Make such a list and put 2 to 3 in every domain. And notice that what problem they are facing in their life. And how you can give the solution of those problems. Once you get such problem. And you get the genuine and good solution. Then start approaching them with the solution. If you keep following this simple technique, then you would have strong connections. Spin and explained, networking is the art of giving others what will help them achieve their goals, not yours. Because N of Spin says that. Networking is the art of giving others what will help them achieve their goals, not yours. That's why remember all these things well. And recently I did a podcast with Harshil Korea, the founder of Spang. Spang found a podcast example. He gave an interesting tip, which helps a lot in networking. He said in the podcast, the summary was, people do mistake that they try to contact the big people like CEO of the company. Whereas the alternative to that is, if you have to reach big people, then try to contact such a person of that company who isn't busy like them. Maybe an employee who lives there and meet him daily. But he isn't getting that much attention. Or such a person who wants to do something in life. So that he can form alliance with you. And can introduce you to that powerful person. So that there can be a win-win situation. What you think, what is the best method of making networks? Do comments and tell me. And if you want to keep learning the things of the books, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Making network of strong people is a good thing. But I also want you to become a strong personality. If you have interest in knowing how to be a strong personality, then I have already made a video on this topic. The link is in I button and description. Strong personality video. You can watch that video from there, so that you can become a strong personality. See you in that video. Till then, bye.